Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Can take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars on the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Question in the voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Can in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. We live and loud, that break in the mind. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploded like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, they're a force can't fight. From sports to politics,
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of Kenneca in the Morning, the Friday morning edition. My God, it's already Friday. Woo! So, that was fun yesterday. We're talking about a stadium deal. Look, the stadium deal happened in Cincinnati as we talked about it. That was pretty fun. We don't get to break news too often. It seems like once a month, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, shit, it doesn't help with it being the time of year that it is, that there's usually a news story that breaks once a month, let alone the timing of when in the day.
Well, yeah, and then we had the head coach GM extensions in Tampa. It's like no one even cared. It's like, yeah, okay, whatever. The Bengals might move. No, they won't. Okay. And of course, this morning, because the Browns cut these guys with these names you can't say. Defensive edge they cut. All of a sudden today, Bears should sign, edge. Like, dude, come on. Bears should make trade with Giants. Bears should make trade with. I'm like, oh my God, the clickbait.
Oh, believe me, it's not any fucking better on the Packers side. They should get this veteran receiver. They should go get this player and that player, and they should trade for this one. And
Raiders should sign all these receivers and edge rushers to pair with Max Crosby. It's like, oh, Jesus. It's like, though I did see something cool, though, with Max Crosby yesterday. There was a video, and I don't even know why it was out there, but it was circulating a little bit, where he was talking about Gruden. And, like, when Gruden got fired, like, him and his wife went to Gruden's house.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, Gruden was in tears, man. He's like, I'll be back. And, like, Gruden, Crosby's like, he loves it. He's like, I love the dude. I'd go to war with him. I would do anything. It is amazing that Gruden is still not back in the league. I thought for sure he was going to get a shot that he would sign. Like, this year, I thought maybe the Bears would, he would talk to the Bears, maybe try to get that job. I mean, because there's some good jobs this year, right? Like, you had the Bears job.
Yeah, but he's still got that. Yeah, he's still got that lawsuit going on with the NFL there. And he had already stated that he didn't want to come back till after that lawsuit was finished. Yeah.
But there were some really good jobs that he could have gotten this year. It's like, because Flores has his lawsuit going too, but he's still coaching. So it's like, it would have been nice, but oh well. Oh well, what can you do?
Oh, and then Justin Tucker, even though he's not on a team, is now suspended for 10 games.
Yeah.
I want to know how bad a 10-game suspension is going to hurt an unsigned guy.
Yeah, I was thinking like the dude's probably just going to say, I retire.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of like, well, no, Deshaun got a full year, didn't he? So.
He technically got indefinite suspension originally, is what the actual term of it was, which, you kind of wonder why they didn't hit Justin Tucker with an indefinite.
Well, here's my thing, though, with Justin Tucker. It's like, wait a minute. Because the NFL confuses me. With the DUI for Addison, well, we're going to wait till civilian courts adjudicate it before we do something. So if they're going to be charged something in the civilian courts, right, they should get first crack at it. We should wait until they say he's guilty or not before we give a suspension. Justin Tucker. Oh, you've just been accused 10 games. What in the woke world politics is going on here in the NFL? I'm like, with some guys, like, well, it hasn't been adjudicated by a civilian court, so he may be innocent, so we're not going to suspend the guy because he could be innocent. Versus, oh, you were accused, 10-game suspension. All right, so where's Justin Jefferson, or not Justin Jefferson? I'm sorry, Jordan Addison is literally going to go do a jury trial over his DUI, right? Why hasn't the NFL suspended him even a game yet for that infraction, right? But they're going to, I'm not trying to side with, Justin Tucker or anything. I'm just saying, look, it's weird how, like, certain things, like, well, we're going to wait till the courts versus we're going to do it right away. Like, dude, first off, Tucker's not even on a team. Secondly, Tucker could be innocent of all charges. We don't know this yet. He's going to get his day in court. This could be fabricated. It could, it could be people just looking to make money. It could be a lot of different things. I'm sorry, NFL, you are not the
I think what it is still stems from all the Ray Rice stuff. That from
wasn't Ray Rice acquitted though?
There was a lot of back and forth with that one. There was blatant, obvious video of it, and then the woman he did it to apparently took him back or got married, whatever. But
they got married.
Remember the blowback?
His case was dismissed. His case was dismissed. They dismissed it.
Yeah, but the video evidence kind of shows she might have dropped the charges, but that video still exists. I think what that comes from is the blowback they got from that.
Well, that was during the Me Too movement.
Yeah, that they didn't do enough. The thing with it, because his original suspension, I think, was like 4 or 6 games, something like that, and people were up in arms over that. So I think it's just them
in his case, okay, so it was dismissed because he completed a pretrial intervention program, where he had to do anger management, counseling, and basically get like probation. So he settled out of court. So that's maybe different, right? There was still the case was dismissed, but there was a kind of an adjudication where he had to do some things. But yeah, the NFL acted before the civilian courts there, but there was clear evidence, right? Mm-hmm. So I mean, you can make a little bit of case like, okay, but they should have just done maybe like a suspension pending the outcome of like a 1 season. Since they did a lifetime immediately, should have been because there could have been some other mitigating circumstances that we didn't know. Like as far as we know, at the time, there could have been other mitigating circumstances, right? That's a hard case. But like with this one here with Tucker, like, dude, we don't know. As far as we know, he's being scammed for money, right? To give a 10-game suspension without any evidence that anyone else is seeing or the civilian courts have ruled on, I would just think it would be funny in a way if the courts came back and said, hey, all these charges against Tucker are dropped because, well, they're all false. And then, oh, by the way, if you want to sue them for defamation, go right ahead. And he can turn around the NFL and go, what? You're next.
Either that or they got information that we're not privy to yet.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get ahead of it.
But you know what? They don't need to get ahead of it. You don't, like Roger Goodell, you don't need to get ahead of the civilian court system, right? Let the courts do the courts. Like, unless there's some blatantly obvious video evidence like a la Ray Rice, right? And even then, I think they acted too fast, too harshly versus, because look at redemption's what this country's built on. You could have, a lifetime ban for that, something like that. I mean, I don't even think they gave a life. Did they give, what's his name? I can see his face right now. The tight end that committed murder. I'm sorry, wait, supposedly, because now the charge were Aaron Hernandez. Did he get a lifetime ban when he was convicted of murder?
I think he just went to prison.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, you're not going to give a lifetime ban or a 10-game suspension to Aaron Hernandez, but you're going to do it to a guy who hasn't even
yet. To be fair, that piece was taken off the board, so they didn't have to worry about making a decision there.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, Luka, who knows? But I mean, I'm not saying whether he's innocent or guilty. That's not what the argument's about. The argument has been that the NFL, in some cases, says we're going to wait until the civilian courts adjudicate before we come to a decision, and then in other cases, they say, "Fuck the civilian courts. We're the law, right? We're going to make the decision. We're going to determine guilt or innocence before the civilian courts do, right?" That's my gripe with the NFL. It's either you what are you going to do, one or the other? Either you're going to hand out suspensions without the civilian courts adjudicating, or you're going to wait till the civilian courts adjudicating, like you said. Which one is it, right? Or is it, well, if it's a DUI or murder charge or something like that, we'll wait. But if it's like, you got a little frisky in the me love you long time room, we're going to give you an automatic suspension, right? Yeah. See, once again, Luca, you're missing the whole argument. Like the whole argument. I know you go to a lot of airports because you fly a lot of places, but the argument's flying right over your head. It's not about Justin Tucker per se. It's about how the NFL, in some cases, will be like, we won't say anything until the courts let us know if they're innocent or guilty. And in other cases, like, we don't care what the courts say, we're going to assign guilt or innocence. Which is it going to be, NFL? Pick a lane. I'm hearing my words. My words are not justifying Justin Tucker. But we live in a country where we are innocent before proven guilty, are we not? That is the premises of our judicial system. So right now, until he's proven guilty, he's innocent until proven guilty. Point blank. Who knows? Justin Tucker may be innocent. I don't know the man. I don't know what his proclivities are. I don't know everything about this case, but he could be innocent for all we know. We don't know, Luca. That's the point. So the NFL coming out today with a 10-game suspension when something hasn't been adjudicated yet is a little kind of like, okay, but they're not going to do that with your guy, your wide receiver, who's going to a jury trial for DUI too, which is freaking stupid. But it's like, okay, whatever. But the NFL picks and chooses, like, we're going to wait for the court system on some days, and other days we're the court system. Like, come on, dude, get consistent. I'm looking for consistency out of the NFL. That's what I'm looking for, Luke. It's consistency. Where is it? You know what I mean? It's like just
I do know what you mean, but I was oh man, I don't want to get you in trouble.
I'm not even saying Justin Tucker's innocent. He could very well be guilty of sin, but the NFL's had a look at Ray Rice. You had the video, okay, and there was Me Too movement. I understand it. Okay, fine. A lifetime ban. Okay, whatever. I think that was a little harsh, but whatever. I mean, come on. We let Michael Vick back after the dog fighting thing and prison and all that. Everyone should get a chance at redemption, right? That's one of the other tenets we have in this country, right? Everyone should get a second chance at redemption. Hell, Ray Rice ended up marrying her. So he should have maybe he shouldn't have got a lifetime ban. But in Justin Tucker, unless there's video evidence that we're of him doing this, okay. I mean, but for the NFL to say, well, we're gonna adjudicate before the justice system does, and in other cases they're gonna say, well, we don't adjudicate until the justice system does. Well, which is the NFL? Is it only in woke political areas are you gonna do things, in other areas leave it alone because you can't make a political statement how you support this, that, or the other? I might be consistent. Either you're waiting for the judicial system and the civilian courts to do their job, or you're not. Which one is it? You can't have it both ways. That's all I'm saying. Give me consistency.
But apparently, they can have it both ways, and they do.
Well, no, Joe, I get that, but I'm saying is to me, it just means the NFL. No,
yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy of the NFL.
Well, yeah, the hypocrisy just like you are. The NFL is full of shit. So is Roger Goodell. And so when the NFL says anything, how am I supposed to take what they're saying seriously?
Yeah, that was my point. I'm making the same point you are. It's just I'm pointing out that, the NFL obviously can have it both ways. They get to have their cake and eat it too, right? Like they get to clutch their pearls over this thing, but pass judgment before the law does on this other thing, and it's
I
always
guess
been that
according to
way.
Luke, everyone's guilty till proven innocent by this, right? I mean, they should be, because what if Justin Tucker? I'm not saying he's innocent or not, but in our judicial system, you're innocent till proven guilty. So Luke, I guess the NFL is now the arbitrator of truth in the criminal in the court system, criminal and civil, right? I mean, is that what you're saying? I get that the NFL has the right to do whatever the fuck it wants to do. They're the NFL. But the problem is the hypocrisy in the NFL when they come out and say that we're going to wait for the judicial system to do its thing, and they turn around and wait for the judicial system to do its thing. I don't care what kind of lipstick you try to put on the pig, it's still a pig.
Didn't they suspend? They suspended Deshaun Watson though, didn't they?
They did.
They had him indefinite suspension and Justin Tucker a 10-game suspension.
I mean, I just wanted to throw that out there. Like with the sexual assault thing, it seems like they've been pretty consistent, at least as far as that goes. They're like, they don't wait for criminal matters. If they do their own investigation and they find the claims to be credible, they're going to give you a suspension. But I don't think the suspensions are long enough. But I think that they, like Deshaun Watson's indefinite suspension, what did it end up being? Like 1 season?
1 season. Yeah. And look, Tucker will probably retire. For me, it's just I'd like to see the NFL be consistent in what they're doing. Either you're waiting for the courts or you're not waiting for the courts. Because, the Justin Tucker is a criminal and a civil case now. So let the criminal case happen before you make an adjudication. Okay, so Gavin Newsom just sued Fox News, so I guess we should ban Fox News because Gavin Newsom sold them, and we agree with Gavin Newsom, and we don't agree with what Fox says. Or like when the kid sued CNN, we should ban CNN because they're guilty. They're not innocent according to Luke in the civilian court system. You're guilty. You have to prove your innocence, right? He's like, well, it's the inverse. You're not innocent till proven guilty, by the way, in a civil court. Okay, great. So we should all assume they're guilty just because they've been sued. I mean, come on. Like I said, NFL, be consistent. Either you're waiting for the court system or you're not. And it's not about Justin Tucker per se. He's just the catalyst for this discussion this morning. Like, if you're going to rule on Justin Tucker before he has his day in court, then great. Addison should be getting a suspension as well.
What I want to know is, how does Justin Tucker get criminally charged with like 3 cases or something, and Deshaun Watson did not get criminally charged with like 29 cases? That's what I want to know.
It makes you wonder if all this is true, how egregious Justin Tucker stuff was.
Well, it also makes you wonder, though, how many of these guys just went to one of those, massage parlors where they can get a happy ending, and unfortunately for them, they paid to go get the happy ending, and the happy ending turned around and sued them so they could get even more money. I mean, there's probably a little bit of that to that. That could be the whole thing, right? Like, dude, first off, you're a millionaire. Why are you doing that? You don't have to. But
that's what I'm kind of wondering.
People are dumb, right? People are dumb, and they make dumb decisions. I mean, so he did a rub and tug, and he paid for it, and now he's getting sued for paying for what he paid for, right? I mean, that could be it. It doesn't mean he's out there beating women or anything. It could just be like, hey, that was Justin Tucker I just had in my stall and paid for hey, I can get more money. There could be that to it. It doesn't make anything they do, it's just stupid choices. Doesn't make their choices not stupid, but, it doesn't mean they're beating women either, right?
Mm.
It's like paying for prostitutes. Well, that's what it is, really. They're prostitutes, really, aren't they, at that point? So, I mean, guys have made stupid decisions with that throughout all of history.
But a wise man once said, "You're not paying a prostitute to have sex with you. You're paying her to leave."
Well, in this case, they paid him to leave, and then they came back and sued him with allegations.
Oh, you.
So, I mean, but once again, though, whether that's the case or not, the NFL keeps stating we're going to wait for the court system. But in this case, yet again, because maybe there's a little political charge there, they don't. A DUI is not a political charge. It's not like there's nothing political about a DUI, right? There's no movement. Besides, I guess they don't care about MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Fuck those people, Roger Goodell says, because they don't politically count. The NFL seems to me to be politically motivated in the way it adjudicates things. And in this case, they're being politically motivated by they'll give out a suspension for something that hasn't been adjudicated in civilian courts, while saying in other cases, well, it hasn't been adjudicated in the civilian courts, right? So we're not going to do anything.
My whole thing with it all is, how do Justin Tucker and Deshaun Watson get different suspensions for relatively the same thing?
Yes.
Granted, Watson had more cases, but none of his were criminal cases where, Justin Tucker had fewer, but he's got criminal cases.
Because Deshaun Watson has a lot higher profile. That's the other thing with the NFL. The higher your profile as a player, the bigger the suspension. That's another perfect case. Tucker's not as high of a profile player. Is he a high profile player? Yeah, he's probably one of the best kickers in NFL history, right? He's in that pantheon of great kickers, but his profile is not as high as Deshaun Watson. He didn't sign a $250 million fully guaranteed contract.
Yeah.
Ray Rice was high profile, right? He was the running back in Baltimore at the time. And Baltimore was good, high profile. It had been some guy sitting at the end of the bench that no one's ever heard of. Dude, we wouldn't even have heard about the suspension. It'd be a footnote. That's the other part about the NFL, right? It's like they don't. They're Roger Goodell's system of justice is not fair and equitable to every player in the league. Like, I'm surprised the NFLPA isn't all over that.
Well, they seem to have their own issues going on.
Yeah,
right
they do. We talked about that yesterday. But I mean, seriously, that's my problem with the NFL. So when Roger Goodell and the NFL say stuff, I have a hard time taking it at face value because they're so inconsistent in what they actually do with stuff. Like, Justin Tucker get a 10-game suspension. Justin Tucker could give two shits. He's probably just going to retire. He's made his money, whatever. A 10-game suspension won't stop him from getting to the Hall of Fame on the road. If he gets in, because kickers rarely get in, whether like 2 or 3 in the Hall. I mean, he could care less. He's made his money. He's still going to, sign helmets and footballs and make money that way too. And he's going to make money outside the NFL. He could care less. He's probably going to retire anyway. Because if he would have signed, he probably would have signed before the allegations. Well, he got cut after the allegations, didn't he? Yeah. But I mean, he probably was going to retire anyways. I doubt the guy comes back. Hey, good morning, Nicholas. I mean,
morning.
But it's like, wouldn't it be ironic if when the dust settles, he's cleared of all allegations and charges? And then you're looking at the NFL going, this is why you have your policy in place. Why don't you follow your own policy?
It's one of those lose-lose situations for the NFL that you put out this suspension. It's going to piss off the people, like you said, that want everything to be straight across the board no matter what. If you don't hand out the suspension, and especially if he happens to be guilty, you're going to get an uproar from that too. That you didn't do anything to...
So, okay, when Addison is found guilty of his DUI, it's the same thing, right? When he's found guilty of his DUI, which it seems from what we've read that the dude's guilty, like, I don't know why he's doing a jury trial, but whatever. When he's found guilty, should the same thing apply? The NFL let him play an entire season without suspension, pending this charge, this court case he's going to have. So why shouldn't Justin Tucker or any other player be afforded the same opportunity as Addison?
Well, I think a major part of it is the difference between the charges. Is that one was a DUI, which granted can affect people,
Can
but
kill people, literally, does every day.
At least in this instance, it didn't, to where with Justin Tucker, there's actual potential victims.
So where there's, well, I guess Tucker's got criminal case, so both could be facing jail time.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, it's all equal. It doesn't matter. Charge is a charge. I mean, I get it. I get what you're saying, but you still need to remain consistent. You don't get to say that, well, your DUI is less important than the guy going to the rub and tug. I mean, one potentially is going to kill people, the other is not. So to me, Addison's charge is potentially more damaging because he could have literally killed people. Justin Tucker wasn't in a position to kill someone.
Just messed them up psychologically.
Well, geez, we get messed up psychologically watching this show every day. So I mean, maybe we should sue ourselves. The point, I mean, you see what I'm saying though? Like, I get it. And look, there's a political piece to it too, right? Obviously, with the NFL, there's a political piece to the NFL. They like to be seen as a politically on one side of the spectrum or another. I get that, and I get that there's some outrage from some fans. I get that too, but there's outrage for fans on guys with DUIs, on guys with drug charges, on guys with all these other charges that happen, where the NFL does not do anything until they've had their day in court. Right? So give the guy his day in court. Let him be proven guilty, then slap down the suspension. And then if he's found guilty, throw the lifetime on him if you want. Right? Then you're staying at least being consistent with what you did with Deshaun Watson. Like, if it's supposed to be fair and equitable, and you're an organization that's supposed to be pushing for fair and equitable treatment of all people, then shouldn't that extend to your own players as well in the way you handle league justice, if you will?
But the truth is, it's never been fair and equitable. Like,
right,
the NFL has always, yeah, of course they do, but the NFL has always. Ben Roethlisberger raped 2 women. And ended up getting
what was this? What you cut out there. What did Roethlisberger get for his suspension from that Georgia case?
Nothing, I don't think.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember him getting anything.
No, did he settle out of court? Right, I think that they settled that case.
I think so.
You know, but once again, like once that case has been settled, the NFL
he had another case in Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, and when those
he had another case in Lake Tahoe.
And when those cases settled, they could have and should have given suspensions. If you settle the case, okay, I think you still get your suspension because it's still your day in court, right? You settled with them to avoid going to court, but so you're going to pay them money or do something else to make it go away, a la Ray Rice, right? Cool, give the suspension. That's fine, right? But yeah, did Michael Vick actually get a suspension when he got convicted of the dogfighting? He did, and then he came back. So, there you go. That's how the system should work, right? You've been convicted, you're suspended, but you can come back possibly. And he did come back, and he had a second career that seems to have been very positive across the board.
Yeah. But the message the NFL sends though is like, it's okay to rape women, just don't fight dogs.
Yeah.
It's not a good message. Like,
the NFL,
and I think, but I'm saying, like, I think the NFL realized that after the Roethlisberger and some other incidents. I think they realized that, and so they're like, well, we got to really clamp down on this sexual assault stuff, so we're going to, suspensions.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, Joe. I don't disagree with you. Yeah, your volume cut out there at the end, but I don't disagree with you. I just think it's funny how they will adjudicate those. Like I said, they say we're not going to adjudicate, give out suspensions until it's been adjudicated in the court system. Oh, we're going to adjudicate before they even get their day in court. I mean, to me, that there's just like, come on, be one or the other. Like, what be one or the other. If Justin Tucker is guilty, then give him the lifetime like you did to Sean Watson, right, and be done with him. But if he settles out of court, something happened there, obviously give him the 10-game suspension, 5-game suspension, whatever. But if the guy doesn't settle, if he goes to court and he's cleared, you've now suspended a guy for 10 games who's beaten the case. Same why you don't look at on the off chance that Addison beats his DUI case, they haven't suspended him, right? And if he is found guilty, they suspend him, like they say, like they said they're going to do, right? So I think it should be if you're going to say it, you should do it in all cases, not be picky and not pick and choose which ones you get to follow your own rules by. Because there you go. The whole Brett Favre case, that was before the Me Too, wasn't it? No, that came out
way before.
No, that was way before. So I mean, those are learning points, but I still think that the NFL hasn't learned. Like, and my thing with the NFL is just be consistent, man. Either, look, if you're, you know what though? Okay, Luca, fine. So if you're not convicted and you're found innocent by a court of law or found not guilty, guess what? That you don't get punished. You should not be punished if you're found not guilty.
Yeah, before you said that, I was gonna kind of back Luca's thing there with OJ was found not innocent or was found innocent there,
right?
And most of us would agree that he most likely did it. See, there we go.
Look, the court of public opinion does not matter for shit in this. It really doesn't in that regard. I mean, look, even with OJ, at the end of the day, the court of public opinion on the Nicole Brown Simpson case does not matter for shit. He was cleared of all charges, found not guilty. In this case, a jury of his peers, right, found him not guilty. In our system, that's it. You're not guilty. Oh, I don't believe the jury knew what it was talking about. No, that's not how our system works. Right? Motown Mitch says, what if you're guilty? What if you're found guilty but you're innocent? And unfortunately, Mitch, that happens a lot too, right? We know that happens.
The state, and if the NFL takes action against them, and you're found actually innocent at some point down the line, even after your guilty verdict, you should be awarded damages at that point.
And you know what? They are, right? I mean,
a lot of them are, but there's a lot that get to just die there.
But the point that I'm making here is Nicholas just sent me a picture of his new setup. He's watching this on the big 86-inch TV right now, and he's got the 7.2 surround sound too.
Oh,
so
nice.
Yeah, like I said, I just want consistency out of the NFL. Like, if you're going to say you're going to wait for the courts, and wait for the courts in all cases, not just on this case, that case, the other case. Oh, not because this guy's a high-profile player. This guy is a high-profile player in a different way. Oh, this guy means more to his team versus this guy. No, you need to apply the law, if you will, of the NFL equally. Whether it's the last guy on the roster or the superstar. It needs to be applied the same, because to me, the NFL loses credibility. And I think, like, Luca is missing the point here, right? Talking about OJ and Tucker, this, that. I don't care about any of that. That's not the point. The point is the NFL says that they've said we aren't going to adjudicate until the courts have. But then in certain cases, they adjudicate before the courts have, before the guy even gets a chance to go to court and defend himself. So keep it the same across the board. I'm not arguing whether Justin Tucker is innocent or guilty. That's irrelevant for this argument. It really is. The argument is, do what you say you're going to do across the board, or don't. Or say, we're not going to do it. We're going to be honest. Say, we're going to pick and choose which cases we adjudicate before the trial based on how popular the player is, or how big a profile he is, or what type of case it is. Be honest with us. Stop lying. That's all I'm saying, NFL. Right? Be honest. Because I'll tell you what, if it was some nobody guy, the 53rd man on the roster, do you think that the NFL does any of this? No, we don't even hear about it. We only heard about it because it's Justin Tucker. And the only reason he got 10 games versus lifetime is because he's not as high profile as Deshaun Watson. And then there's some people, and I'm not trying to make this argument, but there's another argument that can be made. Well, why do you only get 10 versus lifetime? It's because he's white and Deshaun was black? That argument's going to come out. That's what I'm saying. If you don't hold yourself again consistent across the board, you open yourself up to these stupid types of things. So NFL, be consistent. Like, either wait till they go to court and get to prove their innocence or found guilty, and then if it's the same crime, punish equally. Now the NFL might say, well, Deshaun Watson had exponentially more cases against him than Tucker did, and that's why we only gave him 10 games versus a lifetime, which we made literally a 1-season deal, a 17-game ban. Okay, fine. You could come that could be that they could argue that, and we'd probably all be like, okay, you learned that was a mistake to do lifetime. People can have a second chance, blah, 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 blah. Okay, got it. I'm sure most of us would probably be okay with that explanation, right? But it comes to this other stuff, just be consistent, right? Like, just be consistent. That's all I'm saying with the NFL. Be consistent in the way you adjudicate. Like, get some credibility back in the league. Because, like, the fans, I think, don't believe the NFL has much credibility in a lot of ways because of shit like this. The NFL says they're going to do X and they go do Y. And you're like, dude, really? And we still go watch the game and we enjoyed the NFL, but it's just like, just be consistent.
Gee, boss.
Wow, Luca.
I am in no way freaking touching that comment.
Yeah. Luca was slobbering all over that comment.
Gee, boss.
Joe got it. Joe cracked a smile on that one. He's like, oh, God. But, I mean, that's all I'm saying. Can we just be consistent in the NFL? Just be consistent with how you're going to adjudicate things. Like, either we're waiting for the courts or we're not waiting for the courts, right? Just be same across the board. Like, well, why isn't Addison facing suspension yet for his criminal charges, right? Is that a felony or misdemeanor charge he's facing there in California?
I don't know offhand.
I think Dubai is a felony charge.
Yeah, so he's got a felony charge. So, it's like, when these guys get weapons charges, they don't get banned immediately. They wait for their day in court and then do it. So it's like, I don't know. I just think the NFL just needs to be consistent in the way they adjudicate things. That's all I really want. Be consistent.
Well, wish in one hand and crap in the other.
Luca, you're not wrong there either. Be consistent. Yeah. That's true.
I'd like to take this moment in time to piss off all Cowboys fans. Dez did not catch it.
Or what's reporting and what's not reporting for Lions.
I just want to point out, like, Luca is talking about the Justin Tucker case, right? Because you brought up the Addison case, because you said Addison should be suspended too. And he's like, no, fuck that.
Yeah, and Addison's DUI is a misdemeanor.
It's a misdemeanor, okay.
Yeah. It's 2 misdemeanor charges.
I guess that your first DUI is a misdemeanor.
It depends on the state.
Yeah, in California, I'm saying, I guess your first was a misdemeanor, but
okay.
I thought they were.
I know here in New York, they will cram it up your ass.
Like what's another case? I mean, look at Shedeur Sanders just got the ticket for doing 130 miles an hour, and what was the speed zone he was in? That's reckless. It's reckless.
Yeah, there was one that supposedly was 144 and like a 25, and then the second one that we know is 100% legit was like 101 or 110 in a 60.
So, like in most states, that would be considered a felony charge, reckless endangerment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Has the NFL handed down a suspension to Shedeur Sanders yet? They should. If they're going to do that in the Justin Tucker case, and once again, one case, reckless endangerment. He could have killed people. Justin Tucker wasn't killing people. It was the sexual misconduct. Or if it's assault or not, we don't know. I'd probably say he's probably for sure, misconduct, right? Paying for sex. That might fall under sexual misconduct. As far as the league policy, which, is it a crime to pay for a hooker? Well, not in Vegas. Right? Not. Well, in Vegas, I think it is. It's in the county. It is. If you go outside the city limits, you can go to the Bunny Ranch all you want. That might violate a contract clause for the NFL, but you see what I'm saying? Like, there's no consistency in their charges. But one's a hot topic issue politically, the others aren't. And that's the other part. The NFL plays the politics game too much, which is interesting because most of their fan base doesn't agree with their politics. That's the irony.
Yeah. Yep. And to think it's just a question of geography. This all could have been avoided if Justin Tucker would have just went to the Bunny Ranch like a normal person.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's not like you didn't have the money to fly there.
But
maybe they can't massage as good, but I mean,
I was going to say that sounds a lot better than going somewhere where it's illegal. That, yeah, you might get a hell of a massage, but you also might get a hell of a charge to go with it.
At the same time, because we're kind of making a little light of with Justin Tucker, that we're assuming he went to massage parlors where that was the case, and it's a rub and tug and things.
Yeah, he very well could have gone to a legit one.
They could have been lit out about
and he just said, "Hey, here you go."
Yeah. And if that's the case, then throw the friggin' book at Justin Tucker, right? I mean, because that's a big no. That's a big. You do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go straight to jail. But once again, let them have his day in court. Like, we don't know what the case is. It that scenario where he's like, "Hey," or was it a place where he was paying for those services, right? And now they're just trying to extort money, and like, I think it'd almost be funny if Justin Tucker, and I know why you wouldn't say it, because who would? Hey, I went to pay for rub and tug, and she's just trying to extort money. Because what players have come out saying, "I'm paying for sex when I'm married," right? They want to protect their marriage, blah 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 blah, all this other stuff. I'm innocent. I'm innocent.
At that point, I think it's better to go that route. I'd much rather have people think I'm out there paying for prostitutes than I'm out there assaulting women.
But people do stupid things and say stupid things, and when stuff like that happens, they get into protection mode and like, well, geez, if I admit to it, now my wife can divorce me and take half. If I fight in court and beat it, she can't get anything. See, people don't think rationally, or they do think rationally in a different way. Maybe not so smart in some ways, smarter in others. But you get what I'm saying. So I understand why he's not saying, well, it was a rub and tug, and they're just trying to extort money. Because his wife's like, oh, really now? Half, right? This way, he's thinking maybe she doesn't divorce him. That he can just say, oh, but baby, these are people who are just trying to extort me for money. I didn't do anything, because that's what guys will do, right? Because he's not going to admit the guilt, and that's why you are where you are. So see, there's so many things we don't know. But I mean, once again, though, good morning, Ken. Hey, we did JB's show again Wednesday. So good morning. I just wish the NFL would be consistent in when and how they hand out these suspensions in court when people have court cases on them. Like, just if you're going to say you're going to wait till the court case is done, then wait till the court case is done. Or if you're going to do it before they even get their day in court, do it for everyone before their day in court the second they're charged. A crime's a crime, right? Some crimes are more than others, I get. But you have Shedeur Sanders, who reckless endangerment, which is a felony in most states, and the NFL says nothing because, just a kid driving his car fast. Okay.
Well, I mean, most of us have gone 100+ mile an hour a mile an hour in
yeah,
a
that doesn't make
vehicle.
it right.
I'm just saying more people can identify with that than assaulting someone.
Well, alleged assault. We don't know that Justin Tucker actually assaulted these people for fact. We don't know. So once again, the guy should get his day in court, because what if it turns out to just be where he paid for rubbing tugs and they're trying to extort money from him, and that he didn't do anything physically to intimidate these women or anything? What he did, he paid for. Like, if you paid for those services and they're just trying to extort
then
money,
he needs to be shouting that from the rooftops right now.
Well, and that's what he may do in his court case, right? But the NFL isn't the judicial system. So I bet when they go to his attorneys, his attorneys are like, "We're not saying anything to you. You're not the court system. We're going to wait till we get our day in court." Good morning, Yoli. So, but you see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, where the NFL should be consistent. Because what if, and just throwing that out there, what if that is a case where, I mean, look, if they're saying, if the rule is you can't pay for rub and tug in the NFL, that violates the player conduct, code of conduct. And that's the sole, and his lawyers maybe said that to the NFL. Hey, look, Justin didn't do this. He paid for a rub and tug, and they're just trying to extort money. Now the NFL turns around and says, well, paying for the rub and tug is a violation of the player policy conduct or the player conduct policy. Then cool, I'm good with the suspension, right? He admitted to violating that. But if the suspension is because, well, he intimidated these women and abused them, but it hasn't been proven, and paying for the rub and tug is not against policy, then, dude, be consistent. Wait till after he's convicted or found guilty or makes a plea, right? So, I mean, there's another layer to that. But, I mean, and I think they're claiming under their loophole is going to be look, in the Army, we have a loophole for UCMJ. We have an article in the UCMJ, which is like the catch-all. Like, I don't know what to charge you with, so I'm just going to charge you with this article of the UCMJ. It's a catch-all. And the NFL does this. Well, they violated the standards agreement. What? Well, they just violated the agreement. Okay, what part of it? They never tell you. So that's their catch-all. So it's like, all right, just give me consistent. Because, like, didn't Addison violate it? Didn't Shedeur Sanders just violate it? Why aren't they being punished as well? Goldwing. It sounds like Goldwings are funny. They sound like riding lawnmowers. So Ken was driving a really fast riding lawnmower down the road. That's pretty fast on the Goldwing, man. Yeah, it's Article 92, Luca. How many counts did Tucker have? It's like a dozen, isn't it?
I'm not sure offhand.
Let me see how many allegations. Multiple massage therapists. Six massage therapists accused him of inappropriate sexual behavior during sessions at various spas in the Baltimore area.
From NFL themselves, it's
well, now it's up to 16
sessions by 16 different therapists.
Yeah, it was originally 6. Now they're piling on because any massage parlor he went to, any massage therapist he saw, is like, ooh, I can get in on this. So, yeah, I mean, no. So, yeah, there's no formal charges against Tucker. The NFL is reportedly conducting an investigation and allegation, but as of now, no formal charges have been filed against Tucker. So he hasn't even faced. No one's even suing him right now, according to this article. That just adds another layer. So this guy doesn't even have any. There's allegations, but no charges. So I guess now the bar in the NFL is you just have to be. There has to be allegations. Well, shit. Hey, someone needs to go. Someone in somewhere in Green Bay needs to go say, hey, You know what I'm saying? Aaron Rodgers touched me, made lewd comments towards me and accused him, and the NFL will suspend him.
Yeah, but the difference is if you ask in Green Bay, somebody said that Aaron Rodgers made lewd comments against them, they wouldn't, be bringing that up as a negative thing.
Yeah. But no,
remember the old joke on Saturday Night Live when Brett Favre was quarterback? How do you know you're in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where 95% of the women say that they would cheat on their spouse with Brett Favre, and 76% of men say the same thing?
So these cases they go from between 2012 and 2016. So when he first came in the league, there have been no charges brought against him. And I don't see that there are any lawsuits. It's still being investigated on the civilian side.
See, I'm going to get in trouble because I guess I'm what's known as a victim blamer. I'm going to sit here and say from 2012 to 2016, and it took you 10 years to bring these allegations out. Seems.
I mean, I mean, that was not, we were in the Me Too movement at that point too, pretty much.
The whole Me Too movement passed, and you didn't come out with these allegations.
And the thing is, here's the other thing with the Justin Tucker case. There are no charges being brought against him. There are allegations. He's being accused.
Sounds to me like a case of failing to strike while the iron is hot.
Actually, Motown Mitch, the second part of your comment, someone did sue McDonald's over hot coffee. That's why your coffee cups have the thing that say cautions are hot and may burn you. Because someone literally did sue McDonald's because their coffee was too hot and they got scalded. And they sued McDonald's and won a boatload of money. So, yeah, McDonald's has been sued for their coffee being too hot. That's why there's now a warning on your coffee cup for McDonald's.
Yeah, they got $1 million.
Why I know that fact, I don't know, but I do.
The worst part is any stupid warning that you see means that somebody had filed a case against it. Like when you see on a pizza box is not food, do not eat. That means some stupid son of a bitch out there was chewing on a cardboard box.
Yeah, see, Brent, that's what I'm saying. It's like the NFL and its lack of consistency. I was going off thinking he was charged. Now I read, Tucker hasn't even been charged. Tucker hasn't even been charged. He's just been accused. And look, I agree with you, Luca, right? I mean, so, I get what Joe's saying. I get what you're saying, too. But outside of that point, the fact is that Justin Tucker doesn't even have charges. He just has accusations. There's no court cases.
That's why I'm advocating for any player that's out there. You should just have multiple cameras on you 24/7 and record every interaction you have with everybody. That way, there's no way possible.
Yeah, Ken, I don't know if I'd want to do 135 on my Harley, just saying, because I like to live, but
that's overrated.
It's overrated. That is pretty impressive on the Goldwing, though, 135 miles an hour. Jesus. Like father, like son, both living life fast. My God. Kevin, you're an animal, dude.
I was going to say, you don't get a cool name like Smoking Dad for no reason.
No, 135 on a Goldwing. That's an old man's bike, too. Jeez. We need to go for a ride. That's what we need to do. Yeah, I mean, I just want the NFL to be consistent, man. Either, wait till it's adjudicated. Hell, wait for the guy to be charged at least. But now, if the bar is so low that they just need allegations, what's to stop people from making unfounded allegations to get players suspended? I mean, and I get where Luke is at. I get what Joe said too, because Joe's not wrong and Luke is not wrong. They're both right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the hard part though, because Luke, and I think even Luke would agree with this statement. Enough people have made false claims, right? That makes it the people with the real claims harder. Like, what was that case that was like came out about a year ago? It was a high school football kid who got convicted of rape, went to prison, and then the girl said, "Hey, he screwed up his entire life." And oh, by the way, I lied.
Sean Oakman.
Ruined the kid's life over a lie. So they are, and it's because it. Okay, had nothing to do with speed. And that went through it. Okay, well, okay. Oof. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You get enough of those cases that's why those arguments come out though too. Is like, and we know they're bad actors out there. It's hard to not take them at face value. It really is. So I get where Luke is coming from. Oh Jesus.
And see, all that sounds like to me is that the Vikings weren't good enough to play on the field.
But I think that just adds a whole nother list. So now allegations are all you need to get a guy suspended. Wow.
Yeah.
And you know what the thing is, too? Here's the thing. If you're an NFL player right now, they all get massage therapy. It's, it's part of the regimen.
I'm telling you, you should have a camera on you 24/7 if you are an NFL
if you're a player
public figure.
When you come in
there's no way in hell I would agree to anything as long as if it wasn't video recorded.
Yeah, everything needs to be video recorded because they all they all use massage therapy. Like, there was an interview I was talking about. They were talking about you need to get massage therapy. It's gonna help you with this, that, and players talk about and they. I mean, you ask any player, they'll probably tell you they get massage therapy. Yeah, it needs to be every session needs to be videotaped and saved just for this. That's the sad part. That's where we're at now. Because who's to say that this isn't a money extortion thing?
Hey, I would much rather spend the money to buy all that equipment and even somebody to manage the video of it.
Yep.
Even if any of the charges or allegations don't cost me a dime, it's going to cost you a lot in the court of public opinion.
Because in this case, Justin Tucker just has to be accused of something, whether he did it or not, to lose his NFL career. That's what I'm saying. Like, who's saying that maybe someone doesn't come out and say Justin Herbert did this in a parlor in L.A. or pick a quarterback, pick a wide receiver, pick a running back, pick a tight end or an edge rusher. It could be any player, right?
See now, what you just got to do is claim that the player that you hate the most from the team you hate the most was peeping in your window at night.
Did they, Luca? We don't know because they're not telling us. They're saying, well, he violated the catch-all clause. Okay, well, what do you actually do? And they're not saying, well, we're not a court of law is what they'll say. That's you'll find that out in the court case, whatever. So no, they hide behind that bullshit. Look at Luca. I'm not siding with the NFL on this. I'm sorry. Like, if there aren't even charges brought against him, not even a single lawsuit, I'm sorry. I'm not going to side with the NFL on this one. Like, the guy deserves his day in court just like you would. If it was you, I'd be saying the exact same thing. We're going to get massage therapists all across the world, wherever Luca's been traveling to see Vikings games, now saying Luca did this. So should I shun Luca just because, these allegations are made, and I'll conduct my own investigation, find out he violated the traveling fan policy, and give him no. I mean, come on. But then you got players who have court dates, who have been charged with stuff, who don't get suspension. That's the bigger piece to this. They're facing charges, have been charged, have a day in court, but they're not suspended. Another guy gets allegations and is suspended for 10 games. Well, yeah, I know. We all try not to, Luca. But, I mean, in this case, we all know these players all get massage therapy. They all do. I think, like Ken said, just videotape it all so this shit stops. This shit stops. And if they're dirtbags, they'll get found out because they'll be on video. Or if they're dirtbags, maybe they won't do it now because they're on video. It's a win-win. But the bigger point here is how the NFL indiscriminately doesn't even follow what they say they're going to follow. And here's the case where the guy doesn't have any charges or court cases. He's just literally been accused. And you got other players who literally have court cases in a court for being charged with crimes, and there's no suspensions handed out. So it's consistency in the NFL is what we're looking for. And on that note, everyone have a great weekend. Don't forget Packer Backer Show tonight. Palace Hall on Sunday. We'll see y'all Monday, man. We'll see how this all goes. Peace.